And so we all know that the birds aren't real and that they're government conspiracy to, be used as surveillance devices.
What?
You told me to intro it this way.
I know.
We all know that that's a conspiracy theory. We don't know that it's true. It's probably not. But what if I tell you there was a conspiracy theory to say that the Pokemon Unite what are they called?
Hollowware
Aren't actually Hollowware, and they're just actually wearing clothes. It's all a ploy just to make it think that the technology has it as holograms, but they're literally just wearing clothes.
I would call you crazy.
Yup. The birds aren't real and they're actual clothes. Hashtag tinfoil hats. Stop living a lie. Hey, everybody, and welcome to a Battle Science Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Steven, a.k.a. Boy in the Woods, joined, as always, by Jesse, a.k.a. Rocket Admin Jay. Hi, Jay.
Hi.
Give me a second while I pull up stuff, like the things that I forgot. It's so ridiculously
It is October 18th, 2022. We are officially knee-deep in spooky season.
Yep, it's Halloween 18th. Prepare yourselves. Although for those of you that don't recognize the month of September, it might be what would it be? Halloween 48th, roughly. So congratulations to you.
A lot of stuff going on with Halloween going on as well.
Yep, and
Pokemon Go updates, lots of fun stuff.
And I will say that intro is probably one of the worst ones I've ever done. It's the most cringe. One of the most cringe intros I've probably ever done. So, I'll take that one. I'll take the L on that one. You know what? One of my coworkers above his desk has, I think, just a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that just says big L.
Okay.
Above his desk, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I feel that sometimes. It's October, and our wonderful Patreon podcast producers for the month of October are pulling it up because I didn't prepare that. I'm such a noob. You'd think I'd be used to this after months,
2 years.
a long time. A really long time. Wonderful Patreon podcast producers for the month of October. Dolphin93, James, a.k.a. Jimbo, a.k.a. Jim is him, Winston the Champ, Evo Stevo, J Mar, and Dan P, a.k.a. Sorov. Welcome. Thank you for being our wonderful Patreon podcast producers. You, loyal listener, or unloyal listener, you scoundrel, scallywag that you are, listening to the Battle Science Podcast can help support us by going over to patreon.com/battlescience and backing us at the $1 tier or more to get the Battle Science Podcast early. I said Jamar.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Interrupt me while I'm doing my
I
spiel.
figured you just keep going.
You nerd. The Patreon get the Battle Science Podcast early. The Battle Science After Dark Podcast as a Patreon exclusive, so you can get access to the Battle Science After Dark Podcast over at patreon.com/battlescience.
Last one was you and a bunch of other awesome people talking sports.
We were talking sports. And by the way, the sports update.
Oh no.
Seattle sports suck. And we have to deal with that for a while. The Sounders didn't make the playoffs. The Mariners got annihilated.
For 20 years.
Yeah. The Mariners got annihilated by the Astros. Well, it's a longer explanation than we just got annihilated. We actually played pretty well. And we played pretty well. We kept the Astros to like win conditions like by like one run, roughly. I don't think we took Jose Alvarez. Yordan Alvarez.
I love these sports comments.
I don't think we took Yordan Alvarez quite as seriously as we could have. But hey, he's a free agent. Just pick him up in the offseason. Why don't we? Come on, man. If he can beat us, he can help us beat the Astros. Also, I don't know if you were seeing any of it, but apparently the Astros were super salty about winning against the Mariners. They were like trying to dunk on us, and it's one of those things of like, bro, like 3 years ago you cheated a win in the World Series and then didn't get your title stripped. So like count yourselves lucky and don't be cringe. Don't be jerks. They're like sore winners, and it's gross.
I mean, they're Texans. What do you expect?
I mean, sure.
Not a shout out or a call out.
Yeah, I mean, Texas has got good people, but like whoever was running the social media for the Astros was just being butt cheeks, man. Just being.
That's right. We call it butt cheeks.
Yeah, we call it butt cheeks. Yeah, they're just having a butt cheek attitude about winning.
Jim, a little bit. We're talking about how Seattle sorts aren't great.
So the Mariners are out. Just rocked Toronto, and I love it. Just Toronto, but the Toronto Blue Jays looked at the Toronto Maple Leafs and were like, "We'll do that," which is get into the playoffs and lose in the first round constantly. So I love that. Absolute great energy. I'm glad the Mariners were able to play at least one playoff game in Seattle. It felt like the entire city of Seattle was just waited on bating breath as the Mariners take it to basically game 3 or basically game 4 of the playoffs as they go into double the amount of innings that should be played in a game of baseball. Absolutely wild. I had it in one ear as I was at the home opener for the Kraken. It was a 5-2 loss to the Vegas Golden Knights. The Kraken are not great, and I have words, but we got to talk about.
But we're
Pokemon.
not here for sports.
We're not here for the Kraken. God, I have words.
We're here for the other type of sport, the
esports, baby. Yeah, bro. Just somebody cracked a joke on Twitter about
I guess they got their money's worth, huh?
I mean, I would hope so. The only question is, did the players get to eat anything on the in between? Because there's no break. They just keep playing innings.
What, an 8-hour game?
I think it was 7. Yeah,
Okay.
just a long time.
Yeah. That's rough.
Somebody made a joke on Twitter of like, oh yeah, the Yankees have won the National League or whatever. And the Mariners are back on the 38th inning. And now with Monday's weather. It's like, oh my God. At some point, it was one of those things of like, it could keep going and keep going up to the point where, oh, hey, it's the next day and we have the next game. And that would have been amazing. I wish Jim is him. I don't have the time currently. Maybe next week. I don't know. YouTube.com/C/BattleScience. You can check out the Battle Science podcast video on demand. So the video, audio, all that fun stuff. The Pokemon Sun and GBL streams that I've been doing are all up to date and all up there. I will not have the opportunity to do one this week. Scheduling. Should have opportunity to do some next week. I think next Monday, but I got to double check my calendar. So,
It's been fun to watch you play through Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon during the season of light.
I am having to. I'm really having to struggle with my team comp for Sun. Yeah,
because you're trying to stick to a somewhat structured team.
I want to do a structured. I feel like I'm like banging my head against a wall trying to get a structured team. Also find something that I want to keep in the long run, even though I've
But
only
you've
been
also
through.
been kind of.
I've only been through like less than a fourth of the game.
And
I
you
have
put almost enough time to be at the second or third island.
Well, but you have to recognize that I've been splitting that time with
GBL.
So like realistically, the amount of time that I've been, the amount of time splitting, at some point I might just do, I think my last episode I did like 1 or 2 sets at the beginning and then just played Ultra Sun to like get further.
Which, I mean, at some point, if you want, I can always hop on and do GBL, and you could.
That might be an idea.
Yeah.
That might be a good way to.
Now
to
that
make
Great
some
League's
progress.
back, and I can actually win some games.
Well, you'll only have it for.
It'll be back
2
for another
weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, so you'll have it here, and then you'll have Halloween Cup,
Which it's still.
which
Great
is in
League.
Great League. Yeah, so. Battle Ram, I will probably get Crimson or Violet. I'm not in the habit of pre-ordering games, so we'll have to wait and see when I'm getting it and potentially streaming. I'd like to see if it corresponds with the next season something.
I mean, it has to. They have to promote it. They did it with Galar. They did it with Sun and Moon.
Yeah, they did it with, I think, a couple of the starter Pokemon, which might mean we see the... Is there a food theme going on with Scarlet and Violet? Because they have the bread,
There's a lot.
the bread dog and Lechonk. And then, and by the way, you can make sandwiches now. Did you not see that trailer?
I'm not watching any of it.
You can make sandwiches now in a picnic with your Pokemon. Basically like camping from...
So it's literally making the curry.
It's like curry making and Sword and
Galar,
Shield,
yeah.
but you can make sandwiches. And like they have like legitimate like lettuce, tomato, olive oil, ham. What Pokemon does that come from? Are you eating?
Spoink. It's from Spoink.
Are you eating the Spoink? No!
Subway has entered the Pokemon.
That was my Spoink! No! Black Forest ham is the shiny Spoink. Don't at me. Don't at me.
Oh my gosh.
Probably not in November, just because I do want to play Ultra Sun through completion.
Tapping for the spicy Capicola.
I named one of my Embors like yes, one of my Embors, like my lucky Embor is like Lucky Bacon. So yeah.
That's another thing too. We got a new announcement for a new gym leader with another frog Pokemon.
Yes, that is an interesting addition. I'm very curious. It looks like it should be defensive weighted, so we might actually have a really chunky.
It's really funny if you look at the design model that they put for it.
Uh-huh.
It's Chansey without the frills hairs,
Uh-huh.
and its mouth and body is the same shape as Chansey.
Interesting. I wonder if it's one of those weird, like related thing like Wiglet. Maybe.
It looks like it's a ground electric type from what I saw of the video.
I think it's straight electric.
Is it? Okay.
I think so. I didn't see anything about.
It had Mudshot.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa. All right. If somebody else knows better than me, let us know. If it's ground electric, then it's a Unova Stunfisk with probably better
It probably
bulk.
has an evolution the way it looks.
It might have better bulk, which would be wild.
But yeah, so
Fingers
interesting
crossed.
new Pokemon coming out for Scarlet and Violet. That is next month.
Yeah, less than a month away. Boy, howdy, there is a lot of stuff coming out. We should definitely look at some of the Pokemon that they've revealed and see if we can get a feel as far as if anything from this new region is gonna shake up the
For Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go meta. Yeah,
I mean, the new Giraffe rig looks interesting.
we'll have to do that later.
Yeah.
Because we got stuff to do. That's a spam text message that I didn't need to see the what's it called of. Thanks, guys. We're gonna get into
The news.
The news. I gotta push. Where's my? There it is.
Do the thing.
Giddy up now. This is the news roundup.
Julie, do the thing. All right, so right off the bat, quick little thing. This weekend, October 15th and 16th, this last weekend, I should say, was the Pokemon Go Play Pokemon Championship Series for 2023. Technically 2022-2023 season. I don't quite understand why they're just calling it the 2023. It's like that's not how seasons work. Literally every legitimate sport calls it the bridge year of this and this year. Final bracket for the Play Pokemon Go Salt Lake City Regional Tournament. Your champion, a repeat champion, by the way, Bird Power 13, takes the crown at Salt Lake, with second place going to Buckeye Fitzy. I believe third place goes to Mormon Matt. And
In Salt Lake.
Yeah, I mean, a little on the nose, but you know, I went with A Boy in the Woods, also little on the nose. I won't tell you my personal email, but it is also a little on the nose. And then Khaleesi Fitzy in fourth place, I believe, if I'm reading this correct. Which, according to Twitter, means the all of the, what did they call themselves? Team Planetarium. Bird Power was saying that she and a couple people, the two Fitzys, and I think one or two other people, went to the planetarium in between day 1 and day 2. And it turns out all three of them made top 4. So they were like,
cool.
hashtag Team Planetarium. And I'm like, that's a sick nickname.
That'd be a cool thing to go see, too. I've always wanted
planetarium?
to go to a planetarium.
Well, we went to the Burke Museum, so there's definitely, I'm always down. We should.
Team Bones.
Team Bones. I'm down to go to museums. If we can find another excuse to go to New York, I would love to take you to the Corning Museum of Glass. That is a museum I've been to numerous times. I had a great grandparent out in New York. The Corning Museum of Glass has just like old glass stuff, as well as back in the day. I imagine they've changed some things with the whole pandemic. You could do glass blowing. So there were live demonstrations of glass blowing, as well as you can sign up for a class and do either like a glass bead or like a vase or ornament thing.
Okay.
I have my ornament hiding somewhere. I'll have to pull it out for you. But it's one of those things of like you can like pick your colors and do the whole twisty thing of the glass rod and all that stuff. So similar stuff to like Chihuly. If you
Okay.
That's all. Would be cool evil team names. Oh, like Team Planetarium as like a evil team name. That might be interesting. Team Mausoleum. I don't
put you in a grave.
Yeah.
Put you in the ground.
But
yeah, Salt Lake City. I did not get the chance to watch any of it.
Me neither. Just darn busy. What was going on Sunday? I don't remember. Oh, that's right. I had a family thing on Sunday. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Stuffs. Interesting. Cool to see Bird Power come back this season.
Punch their ticket to Japan.
Mm-hmm. I want to say that they've participated in at least one other tournament this season so far.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't
make it there.
I think cracked maybe the top 8 or something, if I remember correctly. But cool for them to win out in Salt Lake. Will be cool to see the repeat in Yokohama. Let's see here. And more winners. The Silph Arena, Silph League Arena 2022 Worlds. We now have our top 8 that are going to be participating in the championship Saturday, October 22nd. That is this weekend. Prepare your butts. Our 8 championship finalists: Inner Bloom 94, Jay's Fan 55, rest in peace. Rip. If you're Blue Jays. If it's Jays fan as in Blue Jays, rip.
I take it they lost.
Yeah, the Mariners beat them on the wild
that's
card.
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they probably really like us.
They maybe don't even know about us. Maxi, what is that? 10,000? Maxi a million P? Maybe? I don't know. Rise to occasion. Ryblet, Vanny, Vroom Vroom Pow, and Zappa 9. Congratulations to the 8 championship finalists.
No bias, go Ryblet.
All bias, go Ryblet. Local competitor, part of Wing Attack, PvP
Hander
for the
of my
Silph
butt multiple times.
in the local tournaments. Yep. Was Ryblet part of the that tournament we went to up in above Kirkland?
Linwood, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't. JMR, correct us. I think he was out that weekend. Maybe they were there. I know there was one person that couldn't make it. It wasn't Winston. Winston was there. I don't remember. I'm old. Help.
I will try and tune in Saturday
At
9 a.m. or p.m.
a.m. Gross.
Yeah, that's true. I'll have to double check to see when. I was gonna make a comment in the housekeeping. Jesse and I don't think Ryblet has been done many in-person tournaments. Okay. Jesse and I are going to the Halo Championship Series Worlds event that is down in Seattle. So we can consume esports. Because I have loved Halo almost all my gaming life. And the fact that their esport championship series is here in Seattle is like a once in a lifetime thing. So I was like, I'm going.
I mean, is it once in a lifetime? They're kind of based here.
Well, so sure, Microsoft is, but their Worlds event, like just like play Pokemon,
Isn't
like,
always in the same location.
No, it
you're
can't
right.
guarantee. All of the regionals have been like East Coast. So they had all of the regionals you could go to were East Coast. So they had one in Florida, they had one in Raleigh, in the Carolinas, and then they had one you couldn't go to that was in LA, for the Halo Championship Series.
Okay.
And they streamed that, and then there was one more recently, and I feel like it was in like Texas or something.
That makes sense.
But I'm super excited to have it here in
the World Champions.
the World Championship here in Seattle. Most competitors that we've seen in their regionals are going. It's just that like the people that have won the regionals have punched their ticket as far as like getting buys and stuff. So they're actually doing some play with just streaming Thursday for pools, and then doing some more competitive stuff Friday and solidifying, I think, probably top 4 for Sunday.
Okay.
So, and then a ton of other stuff. I'm going to try and get a peek at some of the broadcasting equipment, which is probably millions of dollars, in which I cannot afford. But I would love to stare out and drool
At some of their tech.
at some of their fancy stuff.
And
just
it's probably similar to some of the stuff that like Miss Mystic works with.
I'm sure it's, in scale, probably not as similar, just because this is bigger. But I
No,
imagine,
you're right, yeah.
in concept. I mean, it's the same thing of us, of like the stuff we used to stream. It's the same concept. It's just on an order of magnitude on which I cannot and maybe never afford.
You mean the value of the equipment?
The value of the equipment, the size of the team, and the operational logistics are
Much more well budgeted.
No, you know what? I was gonna make a synonym of a phrase, and it's still inappropriate and much weirder. So, Jesse, I'm gonna DM you the phrase here. So, yes, this upcoming weekend we're going to be watching a lot of Halo, and immersing ourselves. But also we will try and check out this. I'll see. I don't even know what the schedule looks like for that week. This weekend, really. So, I don't have specifics yet. I gotta look into that. So we'll see if we can cram in the Silph League Arena Worlds. Let's see. Where's my equal sign? Yeah, it works. Spelling and improper stuff. I'm gonna intro this while he's looking at that, and then I'm gonna get this guy's info on the Elite Raids. Yep, cringe. Elite Raids. This last Sunday, mysterious raid eggs with 24 hours timers appeared on gyms. What could it mean? Gather your friends to take on Hoopa Unbound. Hoopa Unbound will appear in a new type of raid battle, Elite Raids. Elite Raids are a new challenging variety of raid battles. They appear from special raid eggs that take 24 hours to hatch. Once the raid egg has hatched, a raid boss appears for 30 minutes, but take note that elite raid bosses can only be battled in person. Gather up your friends and prepare for an epic confrontation. Defeat Hoopa Unbound, and you'll earn an opportunity to catch it. I would hope so. Remember, trainers will not be able to participate in elite raids using remote raid passes. Please note that the first of these raids will begin at 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. local time on October 16th, 2022, depending on when their raid eggs appear. Elite raids will appear again. Look forward to another elite raid appearing during the Season of Light. So theoretically, Hoopa Unbound or maybe just regular Hoopa will show up in raids again, I imagine November.
Oh, they said specifically before the end of Season of Light.
Yeah, by the end of yes. Bryce Feathertouch.
Bryce.
Your cousin?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's Bryce or it's TJ? Though I was pretty sure.
Proto.
Right. I was like, I'm pretty sure TJ is a different one. Technically, they haven't done elite raids before.
No, but I think they're
Bryce?
they're referencing EX.
Similar
vein.
Yeah, but it's also, this is technically more difficult, I think. Was it?
Well, do you want me to dive in?
Yes. Well, here's my only thing. They posted this October 14th, which was a day before the eggs appeared and 2 days before the eggs hatched. That's not enough time. They need to say that, hey, this thing, they don't have to say what Pokemon's hatching from it. They just have to say, hey, we're going to be doing this like new challenge thing. New raids. Look out for them. They're going to be this weekend. You know, say that at the beginning of October. Say that at the beginning of September with the beginning of the season.
So people can coordinate.
So people can coordinate. So people can understand what's going on. I couldn't. I had plans. Not that I was going to change my plans for the raids because I was, I can't make every Pokemon Go event and everything. I just can't. There's, if you are doing that, then touch grass.
I do. Leave me alone, Dad.
Like, you know, you've either dedicated yourselves to Pokemon Go or you have an unhealthy obsession and you maybe should get that looked at. Come to terms with that. But I don't love the concept. So what's your thought, and then what's the community's thought? Because I know you asked a couple places.
Interesting. Did they mention on that announcement that there's going to be spawns after beating the raid?
Not here.
But they did post in other outlets
Yes.
that there was.
They posted it on Twitter, I think, at least,
So,
which not everyone's on Twitter.
That was a lost piece of information as well. That I'll get to you in a minute.
Okay.
So overall, my experience, I learned about these Friday evening.
Uh-huh.
Realized it's Hoopa Unbound, which is something we got, what was it, from the research line that they gave. And then there was a separate event to be able to change your Hoopa's form.
Yes.
Both in the Hoopa of the Season of Trickery or whatever it was. Mischief. Season of Mischief.
You had one Hoopa. You had an event
that you
where
got
you
near
can
the
adjust
beginning.
Yep.
And then near the end, you were able to turn it to the Unbound.
Yes, but you still only had one.
Correct. So my experience was I saw this and was like, okay, these are going to be like traditional EX raids was my first thought. And they were giving us 24-hour notice for where the eggs were going to be. They specifically said that they were going to be on what was considered EX gyms. For those who haven't been around forever, EX gyms were specifically either sponsored gyms from companies like Starbucks, Sprint, Verizon, or 7-Eleven in certain countries, or the primary way EX gyms were found were inside parks. State, city, national, and there's one more, but I don't remember what the term was. But in the top left corner, when you click on a gym, it has a little tag that says EX Gym. Now, that's not to say that every gym that was in a park that was an EX eligible gym had a rate on it. I did see some reports of some that didn't get one at all, but that's just how it goes. I mean, it wasn't, from what I understand, it wasn't every gym. So around, I want to say it was a half hour after Lubbock Community Day on Saturday ended, I asked one of our locals, hey, because they're on the East Coast, if you start seeing these raids, let me know how much, how consistent they are from gym to gym for EX gyms. And when I said that, like literally as I was saying that, they started popping up on the gyms that we were sitting at, trying to get some extra lanterns raids done. And they ended up popping up on top of those instead of the lantern ones. So in the very first time zones, bless them because they have to get dealt with all this crap, these new eggs that take up 24 hours started taking over gyms and prevented from lantern raids happening.
Yes, that's right.
Because these took over all the things that those lantern raids would have hatched from.
It's not lantern, it's lampet?
Lampet. So that kind of, this is actually one of the community days people wanted to go longer and actually do those raids for. And then they got screwed out of them because the new egg raids took over, or the 24-hour eggs. I guess I don't want to go too much longer on my personal thoughts, but I saw this. I knew how disorganized our locals are. I know I love you guys, but you would be spinning in circles going, what do we do? So I put together a thing and said, hey, who would want to do the first hour, which was, there was the 11 o'clock hour, the 2 o'clock hour, and the 5 o'clock hour. Here in our town, we have roughly 4 or 5 parks we can call. One only has one gym, one has 2. Another one north of that has 2. The Lookout has the 4. All 4 are EX.
So this did only spawn?
In parks.
Okay, in parks.
Yes.
Interesting.
But they weren't all the same. So, like, for example, Torg had 2. One was 11 a.m., one was 5 p.m. The other park north of that had one for 11 a.m. and one for 2 p.m.
Interesting.
The Lookout had 2 2 p.m.s, a 5 and 11.
Interesting.
So they weren't consistent. So you did have to kind of, and promo spot here for Campfire. If you ever get in, it's amazing for raids because it was able to help me map out where we would go. The other option, of course, if I'm someone that doesn't have Campfire, is to just go into the center of town where you can see the most gyms from and then just look. But thankfully I had Campfire so I could just do it remotely.
Yeah.
But I was able to plan out. And the other thing too I forgot to mention was these only had a 30-minute timer.
Right. Once they hatched, they say it here in the
too short. That should have been an hour.
Okay.
It should have been an hour long.
Just because you're trying to get there?
Well, for us here in the valley, we aren't next to 5 gyms in a row.
That's true.
We have to travel.
So I wonder. But that then begs the question of, are they trying to, with the spawns that happen once you complete the raid, are they trying to incentivize you to do one and then hang out there for a half hour and maybe get a second one in? Or do you think are they decentivizing you from doing as many raids as possible within that hour?
The spawns were the legendary birds, supposedly.
Legendary birds and other
Right.
other featured.
Nothing I saw incentivized me to stop raiding.
But do you think that it didn't? But do you think the thought process is they're only spawning for 30 minutes? They give 30 minutes worth of bonus stuff in the next round of them doing this within this season. Do you think, one, the raid boss is still something that interests people? Two, do the spawns around the completed raid look better? And does it then decentivize you from raiding as many as possible to try and remove yourself from the
Mindset of just grind raiding.
Yeah, the habit we have of doing as many as possible as fast as possible, because raid hours super incentivize that. The ending of community days so far seem to not quite incentivize that. They want you to pace every 30 minutes or so you're getting that consistent spawn of the community day Pokemon. But what do you think?
I think that the spawns were a joke after doing the raids. The rarest thing I saw was a shift tree, if that tells you anything.
So you didn't see any of the
No birds.
Okay.
Nothing. I didn't see. A lot of people mentioned seeing Dragonites and things like. It was a full scale of crap to decent stuff. If I were to put it into a scale, I would say it's a lot like GBL reward encounters.
Okay.
From just what the heck to okay, a legendary.
Okay.
And even then, from what I hear, the legendary birds had a catch rate of an Incense Galarian.
Oh, I wonder if that code is goofed up then? Interesting.
So even if you found it, good chance catching it.
Yeah. It makes the the complex thing is those spawns don't seem to be
They weren't rare enough to incentivize people sticking around.
Right, but it's one of those things that you have to strike they'll have to strike a balance if that's what they're looking for.
Right.
You also have to play the game of it's pulling from a pool randomly.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to see,
everything at once.
Everything at once. You're not going to see everything from that list.
No.
Potentially you won't even see everything from the list
No.
as far as what's in that spawn pool.
And even then, there was a little bit of a weird icon that appeared that we hadn't seen before, which was a little countdown timer. And you had to stay in that radius of the gym to get the spawns.
Okay, so you saw like an incense timer almost? Interesting.
As soon as we were at Torg, we go to drive to Sci-View. As soon as I leave the gym at the rock walls radius, that timer's gone.
Okay, so then you
have to stick there.
You then see when you've technically left. You don't see the zone in game, but you will
see
get notified. Basically, the icon leaves when you've left the area as far as where the spawns are. Okay, is it the same 300 meters that is for the community days, or is it much smaller?
Honestly, I was trying to race between raids and didn't pay attention.
Okay,
we got 3 raids done in the first 11 half hour, and here's the next part. I don't want to take too long on this one because this is their beta test, if anything. Your optimal counter to beat Hoopa was bug types. I have probably 6 level 40 bug types, and even with that team, I ended up going through 3 teams per raid. Its difficulty was up. I would say this was high-end tier 6.
Is that just in part because of its typing and moveset, or is it just...
The CP was really high.
Okay, so then this is...
The boss level was really high.
Okay.
We had 9 people. Every lobby I went through 3 teams. I don't know about everybody else that's a little bit lower and doesn't have level 40 bug types. It went quick. Like not beating it, like knocking us out.
Okay.
I went through probably about 100 max revives.
Wow.
Between the 3 raids. It was rough. We had 9 people and I think we finished under 100 seconds each time.
Okay. So I wonder if then they changed the difficulty?
It was definitely more difficult. I don't see how 3 people could have done this.
So then, 3 people,
even
least
three
it-
max accounts, I think
level
would've ran
50
it
bug
down,
types.
would have ran it down to the timer.
Okay.
And that's in part where, when we get to the part where I talk about the feedback I've gotten on these, that's one of the biggest complaints is they felt this was difficult
I
for
mean,
casual
they
players.
right, but they said it was going to be difficult.
Yeah, but to the point, like original EX Mewtwo difficult.
Do you think that if they switch it to another mythic or legendary, that
It won't be as
typing,
hard.
Okay, just because
I
the
think
typing
it's
is a little
just
bit
because
more.
Hoopa is a boss of a Pokemon
'Cause
with
it's
his typing and moves.
Psychic
It's
fighting in this form?
Psychic Dark.
It's Psychic Dark in this form?
Yeah.
Okay.
And its charge moves were Dark Pulse, Shadow Ball, and Psychic.
Yeah, so if you don't
It
run
had
Ghost.
big moves.
Yeah, it had big moves and that say no to Ghost. And Ghost is something that a lot of people have powered up.
Yeah.
So, okay. So then what did the community think?
Okay.
Or what was your gauge from what the community thought? Because the community
Overall, my experience, though, was you needed to be organized.
Mhm.
Thankfully, we had enough. I've been a good enough job at organizing people and things to do this that I think our locals had a decent time.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed seeing people out and about again. I mean, most of it was car raiding because we were hopping from one to the next, but I think it was a challenge. I think if I really wanted to go, if they put in Mew,
Mhm.
I'm probably going to go to Bellevue or Seattle because I
Okay.
want to get as many of these done as I can. Because I did not get good Mews or good Jirachi.
Oh, okay.
If they continue putting mythicals as the feature of these.
Right.
So the majority was either they went ahead like me
Mhm.
and organized and found other people to raid with, or everyone waited last minute and couldn't do it because they couldn't find people. Again, I think this was a really big missed opportunity for Niantic to fully launch Campfire.
Mhm.
I'll be honest, it's not the best platform for organizing because it can be pretty chaotic.
Mhm.
I know, I'll go ahead and read, since Jamar was one of the few ones that responded in our Discord about it, pretty lengthily too. I originally asked the question, what were your thoughts for the Elite Raids? What were your experiences? What did you like or not like? Did you participate? What made you want to participate or made you not participate? Excuse me. Was it difficult to find others? Was it difficult? Was the raid too difficult? Did you experience any issues? And how were your post-raid spawns? Majority consensus, post-raid spawns sucked. Experience issues. There were people that were, once they lost a team, they got the glitch where you couldn't go back into the raid. People complained about the raid being a bit difficult. It was beatable, but you had to have upwards of 5 or more. And that's pretty knowledgeable players. You couldn't just go in with randos. Difficult to find other people. There was a good amount of people that day of were clustering Facebook and Discord, trying to find some sort of way to set up groups to do it. So there was a big issue with Niantic, I don't want to say forcing, but expecting people to communicate like that on such a short notice. And I think that comes into the only being a 2-day announcement issue where people didn't really have time to plan it out.
Yeah.
We had a person comment on Twitter. I asked, did you participate? And someone said, no, I wasn't able to because of conditions. And that's understandable. It being only in parks makes it not accessible to everyone. So there were accessibility issues in that regard. My one counter argument to anybody that says they couldn't find people, I do understand the fact that this short of notice does kind of suck. But if you've played the game long enough, you know that there's communities out there. You know that there's groups out there. You just, honestly, a week's notice would have been preferable just so people could coordinate. But the main consensus I got was a lot of people thought the concept was a good idea, just poorly executed and not enough time. It very correlates to early EX raids, where the benefit for EX raids is if you were part of a community, one person would say, hey, look, I got this ticket to the raid. And usually I think it was a week notice at most, if I remember correctly, a week to 2 weeks. and then other people would be like, I got a ticket too. It was something in game that forced people to see it because it would be the envelope that opens up, and you could invite one person, I think, originally with a ticket.
No, the invite wasn't available until like
Later on.
Yeah, it was a later wave of.
But it was a way in game for people to be forced to recognize there's something happening.
Yeah,
I think
there was a pop up.
Yeah,
there was a pop up for it, and I think in this case, like I appreciate that they do a little news thing that pops up when you first open the game, but like
no one reads that.
No, we all skip it because there's an egg is hatching or there's spawns around or whatever.
Be cool to have like a little inbox in game.
Yeah,
sits there underneath like the compass or whatever.
I
mean, they do have the menu notifications there, but
yeah,
I think that's what was missing from these was just 1, notice, and then 2, notification. Because a lot of people, there was a good, I'd say probably 20 to 30% in the comments section for Facebook that said, I didn't even know this was happening. And it's unfortunate because it was so one of the other counterpoints, this is Hoopa. Competitively, it's not great. And its shiny still hasn't come out yet.
True.
So it will be back.
And it doesn't have its signature move.
No.
So
that's one of the reasons why our locals only did the 11 o'clock block. No one showed up for the 2 or 5.
Okay.
Is they're like, we did the 3. It's Hoopa. Okay. It'll be back a shiny. It'll be back with its signature move. I think I know there's some people that didn't get the research for Hoopa or weren't able to get the Unbound form, so this was an extra way to get it. But I think a little bit more notification and a little bit more communication would probably help a lot of people. Personal plug. If anyone is local and these continue to be a thing, you're more than welcome to join me. I'm willing to travel. I'm sure the next couple ones our locals can figure it out, I hope.
Yeah.
But it does suck to be in that position where if you're someone that doesn't like to socialize and the game to get something is like you need to be social, I get that. It sucks. Not everyone's a chatty Cathy. And, not everyone, like with you, has the ability because of scheduling. So.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I'm just ranting on. I think in the TLDR format of this discussion, cool idea, poor release.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's interesting that they seem to be reducing... okay, 2 things. One, not being able to use remote raid passes. Interesting.
And that's a big thing, too, because a lot of people are like, that's how I do these.
Yeah, because not everyone is able to go out, which, I mean, is, again, a core pillar of Niantic's development of Pokemon Go. And I get that. But also, not everyone can travel everywhere. And I don't want to say that sometimes gyms are just in not great places. Or inaccessible. It's not that they're in inaccessible places, because they shouldn't be there if they're in inaccessible places. But not everyone is able to get to every spot.
And not within a certain time too.
Yeah, and if you're gonna tie, I would say make the 30-minute spawns after better, but allow remote raid passes. Require people to make that choice of, do I want to travel to one and get those bonus spawns, or do I want to
be able to participate?
Be able to participate from anywhere, even though it's going to cost me $1. Or poker coins, if that is what you choose to spend your poker coins on. I think this. I mean, they can't be upset if someone drops $100 for Hoopas and gets a bunch of Hoopa, because they're gonna do it anyway. Yeah. So it's. I mean, it's not that people are gonna do, because you legitimately cannot. The way the game is, you cannot legitimately get 100 Hoopas. Between the raid timer, the time it takes to battle it, etc. Like, you're not gonna get 100. You're gonna get 3 or 4 per hour section, and there was 3 hour sections.
We had 10 minutes on the in between for each one because we had to drive to the next.
that was another point of this seems to greatly incentivize spoofing.
Yes.
And I do not.
I was going to avoid that, but you're going there.
Yeah. You and I don't condone spoofing. We don't.
Some were calling it airdrop help.
Airship or whatever.
Well, no,
the
just
Niantic logo airship.
No, what do you call it when people like get airdropped in to help?
Oh, tactical insertion?
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
Basically, that's what they were calling spoofers when they dropped in to help them do those raids.
Okay. ODSTs first into hell.
Well, no,
I'm here to help.
That's one of the things I saw on Facebook is there was someone that was sharing their GPS location because they needed help with Hoopa.
Yeah.
And people were showing up because they told them where they were.
That works.
Don't support that though.
Yeah.
But that's the interesting. It's like, well, you don't complain when they help.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I bemoan it.
Air support. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah. AC 130. Enemy AC 130 up above.
UAV online.
Yeah, we've got a UAV online. I don't love the recent push of, oh hey, you know that feature we put in the game? Yeah, we're not gonna let it work with remote raid passes. The raids at the end of community days, you can't use a remote raid pass. Why?
These new ones, yeah.
These ones, you can't use a remote raid pass. Okay. Like, so when EX raids come back, you're not going to allow remote EX raid passes? Probably not.
EX has never been able to be remote.
Well, we haven't had EXs in the same period of time as we've had remote raid passes. So
Jim was saying they had over 50 people in person.
That's what they
want.
want.
Yeah.
That's what they want. So,
but you're also in a metropolitan area, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I was lucky to get 9.
Yeah. So it's one of those things of like the people that are farther out, like, let them play. Like, oh no, 1 in 10 spawns around the gym once you've completed the raid is a bird. Is a legendary bird. But like, I just want to be able to do Hoopa from, where I can access it, which like in some cases, I'm not saying my example in particular, but there are people's examples of, I can't leave my house and I don't have raids around me.
That was another thing too, is we are in the middle of a drought with really bad fires all around us. Air quality is not good.
The air quality is terrible, especially today.
So not everybody could get out.
Not everybody could get out, but it's one of those things of like, there are people that just live in places that they just can't get out.
Yeah.
Or they have a physical disability or a mental disability, or they have a circumstance that does not allow them to participate in person.
And they're willing to pay to be able to.
And I don't see why Niantic doesn't just say, okay, well, you'll miss out on the rare spawns that are happening in the 30 minutes after the raid, but you can have access to the raid. Like, I do not understand why
it makes
that
them money.
It does. It does. I don't understand why they don't take that to be like, oh, well, you know what? If you'd find a way to make it.
Is it that bad that they want people to be outside that they don't want to make money off it? Like, are they so about their core founding features that they're willing to
take a loss as far as financial? I don't know.
I mean, I'm a person that if I can make money, I like making money.
I mean, you're the type of guy to work overtime every week because they're like, overtime? And you're like, yes?
Is that a question?
I haven't not taken it in months.
Oh, I actually did take last Friday off.
You did. That's right.
But that's because I took Grandma to go see her sister.
That
was fun. About 10 minutes talking, I'm like, hey, I'm going to take this tea that you gave me and go walk down the street for about an hour by.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I would love to see more work on this. I would love to see them continue to do Hoopa Unbound or just Hoopa Bound Hoopa while they figure it out, rather than switching over to something like Mew that people really care about.
Yep.
Um,
I think this was beta test.
mm-hmm. It's interesting to see this with this Pokemon in this format, if this is the way they're going to do other mythics, as an evolution of like, by the way, we're not going to have these in EX raids. We're going to have them in this format, which technically is more accessible than EX raids, technically speaking, because they're available to the public. When they're going to happen ahead of time.
A certain gym.
It's not limited to a certain gym where you have to participate in that gym.
I'd say of the EX raids I saw, it was 80% of them.
Okay. Because it's like I could be on vacation in another state during this time and still be able to participate in it if I can find one with enough people.
Yeah. And I think that's where Campfire should come in, is you go somewhere. That's their whole thing. You go somewhere you're not familiar, you jump in the local community for that area and go, hey, I'm visiting. I'm looking to do these raids. Yeah. Where can I go? Who do I talk to?
In concept, cool. But I think there definitely are some changes that need to be made. So
Campfire is a hot mess. The maps, though, their maps are on point.
I mean, they still work in the game. You don't have to have the Campfire app.
But you can see from any world in the world.
No, you can do that with the maps.
Pogo?
Can't you?
No. I can see the raids happening in California next to like where someone like Jim is happening right now.
Okay.
Whereas if I open the game, I can't do that.
All right. I'm going to speed through the next 2.5 news stories here.
Yeah, sorry that took so long.
No worries. I mean, that's a big feature that, I mean, could have, if Mew comes in via this, a very big impact in meta.
I don't think they'll do it for Jirachi or for Deoxys since we're so close to Hoenn Tour.
Sure, yeah. If they do it again and change the Pokemon, I don't think we get Deoxys, because Deoxys has already shown up in 5-star raids. It's in that rotation.
But it also was like
it was an EX raid, sure, but like I don't think it goes back.
Yeah.
Pandora's box has been opened there.
Someone said that this could also be how they introduced Mega Legendaries, because the Lotties were their own special Mega Egg.
How they reintroduce those to recycle?
No.
Huh?
So when the Mega Latio and Latias came out, they were a Mega Raid, but it was a special Mega Raid.
Right.
So they think that maybe they could introduce other Mega Legendaries through these Elite Raids.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. As far as like Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza. I could kind of see that, yeah.
Not even that, just Mewtwo.
Jimison Monsterud. Mewtwo too. That's right. Sure. I don't think I even caught my Zarude yet. I think it's still in my research. Lol.
Watch you have the hundo.
Sure. That's what happened with
Shaman.
So
if they put ones like Shaman and Celebi in those are much easier raids than Hoopa.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. All right, Pokemon Go Halloween 2022 Part 1 brings Mega Banette and buckets full of candy bonuses. Get ready for a massive Halloween buckets. Get ready for a massive Halloween celebration this year with none other than Mega Banette making its Pokemon debut in Mega Raids. Oh, by the way, it's a Mega Ghost type that's kind of okay until no, actually it's already outclassed by Gengar.
Yeah.
Lol. It is kind of cool looking though. It's got like zipper mouths. That's kind of creepy. Just like last year, Pokemon Go's Halloween event will have 2 parts. Plenty of tricks and treats are in store, including a remix of Lavender Town music and Halloween-themed special research. Of course, plenty of Ghost-type Pokemon will also be out in the wild. Mega Banette zips over. Ha, it's zippers. Shiny Banette is available, which means if Banette spawns in the wild, you can have shiny. Timed research, in addition to the special research available to all trainers, paid tickets for timed research will also be available during the event. By the way, this is timed research for the event. If you do not complete it in time, it will go away. Ticket 1 for $1 or the equivalent pricing tier in your local currency, plus any applicable tax and fees. I'm not going to read that again. You can purchase a ticket that grants access to timed research featuring encounters with Yamask and Galarian Yamask. For ticket 2 for US $5, you can purchase a ticket that grants access to timed research featuring increased candy bonuses, additional Halloween-themed tasks, and an avatar pose. Trainers can purchase either one of these tickets or both. Each ticket features unique timed research tasks. Important, please note that timed research will expire. The tasks associated with timed research must be completed and the rewards must be claimed before Tuesday, November 1st, so 2-ish weeks, at 10 a.m. local time. Trainers will be able to purchase and gift tickets to any of their Pokemon Go friends that they have achieved a friendship level of great friends or higher with. Please note that purchases, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Tickets cannot be purchased with Pokecoins. So do your Google rewards surveys and your Google Play purchase points things so you can buy them for technically free. Niantic will still get money, but you don't have to go out of your way. There are ways to earn ways to get this for free for yourself.
Interesting animated pose too.
It's cool. I'm curious to see how the Pumpkaboo lighting works in like raid lobbies and stuff, or if it does.
I think it's just a stagnant. As you're seeing it, like right there, it just illuminates. My question is, as always, how was this going to interact with certain outfits? Because they have a really bad habit of clipping.
That's true. It might clip in some things. I wonder if the Ultra Recon Squad is because it's bulky.
Other fun fact, as I've been seeing on Twitter as well, if you have a best buddy Pokemon that rides on your shoulder, any animated poses aren't animated.
Oh, it just freezes?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's sick.
The birds.
Scroll down. Yes. You gonna buy them?
I might buy the $5 one. I like the pose.
I might buy both because I like the pose and I'll take more Yamask.
I don't need Yamask
encounters. I want more Galarian Yamask encounters.
That's fair. It's
Though
actually
I don't
doing
necessarily
pretty good in Open Grayling right now.
Yeah, I don't necessarily need the candy, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the details are when they release, a day or so before when they're data mined.
I like the pose, but that's only because I can't ever get good enough in GBL to get a nice one.
Special research.
But that's how it should be. If you want cosmetic stuff, that should be the stuff you pay for.
Yeah. Put it in an in-game shop. Oh wait, they have. Special research. You can assist Professor Willow and Ree in a Halloween-themed special research. Ree's not going to know how to pronounce candy. I bet you anything. Along the way, you'll learn more about Yamask and Galarian Yamask. Also, for the first time in Pokemon Go, you'll be able to encounter shiny Galarian Yamask if you're lucky, which also means shiny Runerigus. Rune Regis Philbin. Shiny Regis Philbin.
There's also another one that you're missing there.
Bless his heart. I'm not there yet. Eggs. The following Pokemon will be hatched from 7K eggs. Also, for the first time in Pokemon Go, you'll be able to encounter Shiny Noibat if you're lucky. Why is it being released here? I don't know. I really don't.
Because it's purple.
It turns into green, which isn't Halloween colors. I mean, it's associated, but
green.
I'm confused. Really, we should have a dragon
because
event.
Halloween and it's a bat.
But it's also a dragon flying. It should be featured in a dragon type event that happens in November or December. I don't get it. Sure, I guess, but it doesn't. No. It's not that I don't get it. I do get it. I'm just not happy about it.
There you
go. The first part of, getting over your feelings is accepting them.
And I took that personally.
Noibat hatched from these eggs. Noibat shouldn't be in this event, and I took that personally. Noibat hatched from these eggs will also have a greater chance of being shiny than Noibat found in the wild, because apparently they also spawn in the wild. Where? Somebody want to tell me? Oh, well, all right, cool. Yamask, Galarian Yamask, Phantup, Golett, and Noibat are all in 7K eggs. That's a pretty small pool, but if I had learned anything about the 7Ks...
7K or 2A?
7Ks.
Okay.
If I learned anything about... No. I mean, the Test Your Metal event had a very small 7K pool, but Railu also seemed to be uncommon in it, even though they're technically all part of the same percentile as far as spawning, so, who knows. Fantup and Golett are the only two that can't be shiny. Yamask, Galarian Yamask, and Noibat can all be shiny. Wild Encounters, Zubat, Ghastly, Haunter, Spinarak, Murkrow, Misdreavus, Sableye, Shuppet, Dusclops, Absol, Drifloon, Yamask, Golett, Fantup, and Pumpkaboo. By the way, Galarian Yamask is not in Wild Encounters. Thanks, guys. At least not part of the first half, I should say. Avatar updates during the event. Spooky pose found in the in-game shop will be updated to include movement. It will shamble forward, unless you have a buddy Pokemon on your shoulder, apparently. This update will apply to all future and past purchases of the Spooky pose. New Halloween-themed Avatar items will also be available in the in-game shop. Dusclops costume, Dusclops head wrap, Zubat headband. Explore with decor. During both parts of the Halloween event, Pokestops and gyms will be decorated for the holiday. We hope you enjoy the colorful decor. I thought it said color for color. That would be goofy. Lavender Town music, a remix of Lavender Town music, will be playing nightly during this year's Halloween event. Turn up your in-game sound to feel like you're taking a stroll through Lavender Town. If you haven't played any Gen 1 games, Lavender Town is spooky. It's where you, I think, encounter Ghastly for the first time.
It's the only ghost Pokemon in the game.
Oh. Really? Huh. I didn't know that. Gen 1. Woof. And also Cubone's mother. There's a story there. Don't look up the creepypastas, please. I don't wish nightmares upon you. You can also listen to this music by checking out this video. Is this a YouTube link? It's a YouTube link. I'm not going to play it here. Event bonuses: 2 times candy for catching Pokemon, 2 times candy for hatching Pokemon, 2 times candy for transferring Pokemon. Trainers level 31 and above will receive 1 guaranteed Candy XL when walking their buddy. That's huge. So anytime you receive a candy, you will receive an XL candy as well. Guaranteed. There's not a chance.
Isn't that already a thing?
No. No, you have a higher chance the higher your buddy level is.
That's right.
But it's not guaranteed.
So this is guaranteed regardless of level.
Yes, regardless of buddy level.
So if you need to start walking that Lickitung, Sableye, Medicham, any of those things that you don't have XLs for yet.
Mm-hmm. I have a small portion to finish with my Happiny, and then I'm switching over to a Alolan Sandshrew.
Don't be like me and walk a legendary.
No, your walk distance is farther for getting a candy.
You're better off just dumping your raid passes.
Altered form Giratina.
Speaking
caught
of.
from Giratina caught from Thursday, October 20th to Tuesday, November 1st. Will know the following featured attack: Shadow Force. Trainer battles 120 power. Gyms and raids 140 power. Supposedly, as of this recording, and it might change again, the energy requirement is 100, which makes it just a big nuke, and not super viable for PvP, which is good because Giratina doesn't need that. We don't need that spice. We don't need that sauce.
Tina doesn't need more pressure.
No, we don't need that. Okay, that's kind of what I thought, but I wasn't quite sure. In raids, Sableye, Purloin, Yamask, Galarian Yamask, and Fantup in 1-star raids. 3-star raids, Gengar, Umbreon, Drifblim, Drapion. 5-star raids, Altered Form Giratina, and in Mega raids, Mega Banette. Field Research Task Encounters, Shuppet, Duskull, Yamask, Galarian Yamask, and Fantup. And then certain field research tasks earn Mega Energy of Gengar, Mega Energy, and Absol Mega Energy. I think this is probably one of the best events of the year.
I mean, I like the steel one.
That's true. I did really like the steel one. I think some of the spawns here are pretty solid if you don't have good ghost types.
Good amount of relevant PvP stuff.
Zubat, Ghastly, /Haunter.
Ariados is decent.
Yeah, for
not purified
stuff.
Sableye, but you can stock up on those XLs.
Sableye candy is very important. Drifloon for Drifblim. Yamask, both forms of Yamask.
I need the small Pumpkaboo.
Fantup is huge. Yeah, this is just showing small Pumpkaboo. I don't know if it's gonna have all forms of Pumpkaboo.
It probably will.
I imagine so. Yeah, I'd have to go back through and find out which pumpkin
Plus, I love
have.
Golett, so I'll take all the Golett.
Golett. It's interesting that we're getting like one new shiny, and that's Galarian Mask, and we're not getting a shiny Golett, shiny Phantup,
No new
shiny
Pokemon.
Pumpkaboo. No new Pokemon, which, well, we're getting a new Mega.
I guess if you want to call that new.
Yeah. Again, and this is only part 1.
True.
We don't have part 2.
No.
My speculation is it's either a dark type event or a Team Go Rocket invasion. Or both. One or the other or both. So that's my thought.
So that's your Halloween event.
That is your Halloween event.
Part 1.
Yes. Because all of this stuff is
Starting this Friday.
Yes. So this is 1 week. This is from Thursday, October 20th. So Thursday to Thursday, the 20th to the 27th.
Okay.
So.
And is it an evening start time or a morning 10 a.m.?
10.
Okay.
10 a.m.
Sweet.
10 a.m. to 10 a.m. 7 days. Maximize. Walk your buddy. Make sure you set your buddy in advance.
Use those Poffins. Get even more reduced distance.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Because I know some of us have Poffins they can get rid of.
Yes. I'll probably even pop Poffins before I start work.
That's what I do every
as
morning.
I'm walking around the warehouse, getting my 10,000 plus steps in. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. Candy. Okay. The very end of the Halloween event, or right after the Halloween event, I should say, Dia de Muertos 2022, Pokemon wearing, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, the flower crown for the Day of the Dead. New bonuses and a collection challenge. Trainers were excited to share details on this year's celebration of Dia de Muertos in Pokemon Go. Dia de Muertos is a holiday observed in Mexico and other parts of the Americas that celebrates the lives and the memory of friends and family who have moved on to another world. In ancient Aztec tradition, it is said that the spirits of our loved ones never go away but simply travel to a different world. And during a special time of each year, they would return to our world. Ever since, people that celebrate Dia de Muertos get ready for this occasion, setting the table with their favorite dishes of their ancestors, covering the streets with petals of the... Okay, I am going to try this. Cempasúchil flower? And lighting candles and incense to enjoy a joyful celebration full of colors, music, flowers, and flavors. Dia de Muertos, Tuesday, November 1st at 10 a.m. to Wednesday, November 2nd at 8 p.m. So a day and a half-ish. Pokemon Go debuts. A new custom Pokemon will appear during this event. Duskull wearing the flower crown, Dusclops wearing the flower crown, and Dusknoir wearing a flower crown. If you're lucky, you will encounter a shiny Duskull with the flower crown. Event bonuses: lure modules activating during the event will last for 90 minutes. 2 times catch candy. Incense activated. Incense excluding daily adventure incense activated during the event will last for 90 minutes. Thank goodness.
I got the English version of how to pronounce it.
Okay.
The flower. Sem, S-E-H-M. Pa, P-A-H. H. Su, S-O-O. Cheel, C-H-E-E-L. Cempasúchil.
Okay. I think my second attempt wasn't all that off.
Su is with 2 O's, right? S-S-O-O?
Yes. When it comes to that pronunciation, I believe you're correct.
Cempasúchil.
Collection challenge. A Dia de Muertos collection challenge is coming soon. Complete the collection challenge by the end of the event to encounter an Alolan Marowak and receive a Poffin and an incense. Cool, thanks. Wild encounters. Following Pokemon will appear more frequently in the wild. Trainers in Latin America and the Caribbean can look forward to featured event Pokemon appearing more often in the wild. Appearing in the wild: Cubone, Chinchou, Sunkern, Roselia, Litwick, and Swirlix. By the way, all of those can be shiny. If you're lucky, you might encounter the following: Duskull wearing a Flower Crown, Drifloon, and Yamask, all of which can be shiny. Incense and Lure encounters. Lure modules. Let's see. Trainers in Latin America and Caribbean can look forward to even more encounters with featured event Pokemon when using Incense and Lure modules. So Latin America and Caribbean, and the Caribbean will be just getting this plus just more of it. Cubone, Suncurrent, Sunflora, Roselia, Drifloon, Yamask, and Swirlix. And if you're lucky, you might encounter the following: Houndoom and a Duskull wearing a Flower Crown. Field Research Task encounters Cubone, Roselia, and Litwick. If you're lucky, you might encounter the following: Houndoom and a Duskull wearing a Flower Crown. In raids, Duskull is the only 1-star raid for these 2 days. So if you're looking for that Flower Crown and looking for that shiny, there you go.
That's not a bad one to waste raid passes on, though.
No, I wouldn't say so. 3-star raids, Dragonite, Sableye, and Druddigan. Why does Sableye have an asterisk, but then they don't have anything that explains the asterisk? Interesting. Dragonite, Sableye, and Druddigan. Origin form Giratina. In 5-star raids and in Mega Raids, Mega Banette. Avatar items. You can dress up for the occasion in a new Dia de Muertos avatar item. This item will be available to purchase in the in-game shop and will continue to be available after the event ends. It is a Day of the Dead themed skull face paint.
That's a really nice
That's
detail.
Yep, that's pretty solid. I imagine on some phones it's going to look like butt cheeks. Yep, it's cool. That's honestly pretty unique. It's only 2 days, so get some of those Duskull with the Flower Crowns.
That's actually a decent looking Pokemon to give the special Flower Crown to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of those because it feels like at this point it's Pikachu and then like the same 3. So like some of the baby Pokemon, like Chansey, Baneri, like they just keep getting the same. So it's really cool to have Duskull get the kind of outfit
I know
treatment.
it's not something everybody likes, but it's symbolic.
Yeah, and plus the fact it can evolve.
Yeah.
It's not stuck in a desk.
And
Duskull.
it can be shiny.
Yes, that's great. That's fantastic. Interesting. The one thing that I see lacking here that I would love to have seen is a Alolan Marowak, being able to evolve Marowak into a Alolan Marowak for these 2 days.
The Cubones.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's a spawn too. That's kind of I didn't put that together.
It's a perfect time for it. Again, it could be something we see in the second half of the Halloween event, maybe, but
no,
I
you're
don't know.
right. This would have been and this is something people could look forward to every year.
It would have been perfect.
But we haven't had Shadow Cubone back yet, so
True, but whatever.
that's a good point. I didn't think of that. I just saw it and went, ooh, look, new hat for Duskull. Cool.
Yeah. Community Day Classic for November 2022, Saturday, November 5th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. local time. Dratini will return. Dratini will be appearing more frequently in the wild. If you're lucky, you might encounter a shiny one, aka if you play for 15 minutes, you should get a shiny one. The odds are pretty darn high. Again, if you participate for a chunk of time, like a reasonable chunk of time, and you don't get a shiny Pokemon, at me, let me know, because that's whack, and I will find a way to compensate you with a shiny Dratini in plush, sticker, or some kind of form. Yes.
I mean, there's been some communities where we've gone the first hour, there's always one person that hasn't found one.
And then there are the people that find like 15. So like, I don't know, bro.
At Steven.
Hey man, I'm pretty binary when it comes to that as well. Like sometimes I'm like, nothing. Oh my God, there's a bunch. And then nothing. A little bit of a drought. And then, there's a bunch. So, Dragonite, when evolved, will learn Draco Meteor. 150 trainer battles, 150 power, and decreases the user's attack. Gyms and raids is 150 power. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's not useful in either PvP or PvE. Or it's not ideal, I should say. Draco Meteor.
No.
In either.
No.
Cool.
Not really.
All right, then don't worry about it.
I mean, unless they at some point change how Draco Meteor works.
Yeah. Community Day Special Research Storage Dratini Community Day Classic. For $1 US, you'll be able to access Dratini Community Day Classic exclusive Special Research Story. Stay tuned for when tickets for the Special Research Story go live. Don't forget, you're now able to purchase gift tickets. Blah blah blah. Who cares? Event bonuses 3 times. Catch Stardust.
Okay, simple note real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also the same for the one that we're going to mention here in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of them. Crappy Community Day slaps on 3 times Stardust
Yeah,
sticker.
it's one of those things of like, we think people aren't going to like it, so we're just going to give 3 times Stardust. Although technically it's not 3 times Stardust, because isn't it like a modifier?
Yeah.
It's like a percentage. It's not actually a full 3 times.
But it's just like, come on, guys. I understand you have to put 1 lump of coal for every couple, but...
Lure modules activated during the event will last for 3 hours. Incense activated during the event will last for 3 hours. Take a few snapshots during Community Day for a surprise. Wait a second. We're not getting bonus XL candy from this.
No.
Is that
They
because
want
it's a
you
classic?
to just catch.
That's interesting. That's interesting because it's not a modern Community Day, maybe.
No, but Dratini's also been... It's a dragon event. It's a Dratini event Pokemon.
Uh-huh.
At this
That's
point,
true. I don't know.
Okay, before we get into this, open your game.
Yep.
I know you haven't made a level 50 Dragonite. How many XLs do you have? I'm going to, without looking, guess 120.
Nope.
How much?
Higher.
Higher?
Yep.
200.
A little higher than that.
230.
255.
So you're almost there.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but it's still interesting that they're not like this. This is a Pokemon that is raid. It is raid ready.
Oh, it's been
like,
ready since initial
out
release.
the gate.
Gym and rockets.
Gyms, rocket counters. This Pokemon, like Dragonite, should be one that they just like. You know what's been in the game for long enough? Dragonite. Here, let's just hand you. Just take this level 50.
50.
Yeah. It's what's the saying? It's
real estate.
No. What's the Legend of Zelda? It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Take this, yeah.
Yeah. Take this level 50 Dragonite. Just have it. Like why are we gating XL candies from people getting? Why?
I mean, to be fair, if you've been using Mega Pokemon, everyone should have a level 3 tier Charizard by now.
Sure, but still, like it's
not going to be
classic.
hard to get XLs for this.
No, it shouldn't be, but it's one of those things of like, why
Steven
make it
just
any
wants
harder?
handed a level 50 Dragonite.
No, I mean, but you still have to get the Stardust for it. Like,
That's why we're getting the 3 times.
And that's why we're getting the 3 times. And I just don't understand why we're not just getting both. It confuses me. Maybe we are, and they just forgot to put it in the event bonuses, but who knows? I don't. November Community Day. That's not a rerun. Saturday, November 12th from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. local time. I'll be unavailable. Lol. Trainers, we're excited to announce that Teddy Ursa, the little bear Pokemon, will be featured during November Community Day. And hang on, is that a full moon during the Community Day? Ursa Luna, the Pete Pokemon, will make its Pokemon Go debut during this event. Evolve Ursaring, Teddy Ursa's evolution, during a special full moon to get an Ursa Luna of your own. Read on to learn more. If you haven't played the Legends Arceus, like I haven't, you might not be familiar that Teddy Ursa's evolution Ursaring gets an additional evolution when in the Hisui region. Teddy Ursa will be appearing more frequently in the wild. If you're lucky, you might encounter a shiny one. It's shiny is green. It's kind of weird. Ursa Luna, evolve Ursaring, Teddy Ursa's evolution, during the event or up to 5 hours afterwards to get an Ursa Luna that knows the charge attack high horsepower. High horsepower. It just says that the trainer battles it's 100. Gyms and raids it's 110. By the way, Ursaluna is a normal ground type. High horsepower is a ground type move. Generally featured on the Sun and Moon Alolan Pokemon, Mudbray, and what's its evolution? I don't
remember its name.
It's
the big horse, the Clydesdale.
Mudsdale.
Mudsdale, thank you.
You got it. Thanks, buddy. You just tossed it up. You just like went for the alley oop, and I just dunked that baby. I want to say it has a buff debuff in the game, but they don't mention it here. So
oh yeah, I don't remember.
I think
what it was.
I think it increases speed.
No, that doesn't sound right.
It's fine. Let me look it up. I'm gonna look it up because I don't want to feel like I've got egg on my face.
So while you're looking that up, the Ursaluna is also one of the deity type Pokemon. In Sun and Moon, they have the totem Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
In Legends Arceus, that's kind of their version of a totem Pokemon. Ursaluna is one of the... There's two factions and or clans, if you will, in Legends Arceus.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the clan leaders' Pokemon. One of the members of the higher end of the factions Pokemon. It's one of the featured ones. Hisuian Electrode is another one that we had that's a totem type Pokemon. It's interesting because they're jumping generations for community days. Technically this is a Gen 2 Pokemon getting an evolution in a spin-off gen, if you will. That, because we got Sneasler. Sneasler was a good example of another totem Pokemon or spirit guardian Pokemon, whatever you want it.
High horsepower does not have a secondary effect.
No.
No.
It's Mudsdale does have an ability though that it might be what you're thinking of. It's stamina, I think.
Okay.
Anytime it gets hit with a physical move, its defense goes up.
That might be what I'm thinking of. So do you want me to run through some of the relevant Pokemon that can learn high horsepower?
I mean, it looks like an Earthquake clone at this point.
Yeah, so Rhydon, Snorlax, Steelix.
Yep.
The Teddy Ursa line.
Yep.
The Swinub line.
Yep.
Miltank. Hippopotas Hippowdon.
Anything with hooves?
Golurk. Cufant and Copperajaw. By technical record, Nidoqueen and Nidoking, Doug Trio,
that
both
would be
forms.
A great move for the Nidos for a community day move.
Ew. Sure.
But it's got to be less power than Earthquake, otherwise it's just an Earthquake clone.
Yeah. Poliwrath and Machamp.
Anything that can punch something.
All forms of Ponyta.
Yep.
Kingler.
Okay.
Pinsir Tauros. Mew, because of course. Quagsire. Heracross. Tyranitar, Swampert, Aggron, Groudon.
Tyranitar would be really good.
That might be really interesting. Though, I don't know if it helps
Tyranitar
that.
doesn't get Earthquake.
No, but it already has a counter to fires. Or it's already an anti-fire.
Well,
I don't
it's
see
not
how
using
high...
it for that. It's using it as an answer to fighting. Because both of its other moves are resisted by fighting.
Yeah. I don't see it as being the key to Tyranitar being
No,
reasonable.
Tyranitar has a lot better options.
Yeah. And there's just better options than Tyranitar. Drillbur, Excadrill, Girder, Conkeldurr, Crocodile, Diggersby, Tyrantrum, Avalugg.
So when you mentioned the normal ground type on
Ursaluna,
the first thing I thought of was Diggersby.
Yep.
Because I've seen so many of those in GBL lately.
Beware, Tapu Bulu, Buzzswole, Guzzlord, Stakataka, Melmetal.
Oh, that's probably part 2.
Rillaboom. Well, what?
Guzzlord.
Oh, so dark. Yep.
That fits in.
Yup, that fits. Dreadnought, Carcoal, Colossal, Appleton,
So now you're getting into
Sandaconda.
things that aren't in the game.
Right. Sandaconda, which doesn't have legs. It's a ground type, but like it doesn't have legs.
It spins fast.
Spin the wheel. Rattle me bones. Hey man, it's spooky, real spooky hours. Reggie Gigas
Please stop.
via Move Tutor can learn this move. And we all know its move pool is cheeks. It's cheeks, so you know it might be reasonable.
It's pre-remake Galarian Wheezing bad.
Yep. So a full moon from Saturday, November 12th at 2 p.m. to Sunday, November 13th at 6 a.m. local time. A full moon will appear in the Pokemon Go skies. While the full moon is visible, you'll be able to evolve your Ursaring into Ursaluna. Once the moon sets, you will only be able to evolve your Ursaring to Ursaluna when the moon is full again. You can use 100 Teddy Ursa candy to evolve Ursaring into Ursaluna.
So it's a starter evolution. Its first to second tier is 25. Second to third is 100.
I believe so. Community Day special research story, a sweet snack for $1 as normal. You can get the exclusive special research story, a sweet snack. Stay tuned for when tickets go live, blah, blah, blah. Nobody really cares. The rest of the details are all stuff that we've said plenty of times. Event bonus, 3 times Stardust for catching Pokemon, 2 times Candy for catching Pokemon, 2 times chance for trainers level 31 and up to receive XL Candy from catching Pokemon. Lure modules activated during the event will last for 3 hours. Incense activated during the event will last for 3 hours. Take a few snapshots during Community Day for a surprise. 1 additional special trade can be made for a maximum of 2 for the day. Trades made during the event will require 50% less Stardust. Bonus raid battles after Community Day. 4-star raid battles with Ursaring. Remember, it is a straight normal type, meaning you can body that man, that Chungus, with
Hey, boo-boo.
with fighting types.
These fighting types are over here trying to steal my Peganic baskets.
He's not wrong.
Yay!
He's not wrong.
I don't know, Yogi.
By the way, I don't know if it's adjusted or if it's always been this long, but it's an additional 5 hours. It's from 5 to 10 p.m.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a long time, which might be potentially...
In November, it's going to be dark by 3.
Yes, it might be my only chance to catch them,
Ew.
which might mean I need to find a couple of people to do those raids in Portland in the evening.
Hey, Steven.
They're 4
I
stars.
hear you down in Portland.
Huh?
Hey, you can just body those bears with fighting types. Hey.
Yeah, I guess so. But, like, again, we'll see what my schedule's like, but I don't know if I'll really be able to do this.
But if you miss
a
it,
lot.
you could just do it in December.
I hate that you're not wrong. The only... Actually... cool, thanks. My question actually then becomes, it won't be... Will it be a full moon during that?
That's a great question that I asked earlier.
You didn't put it in the context of December Community Day may or may not be a full moon, in which case you may or may not be able to.
Not necessarily
I wonder-
Community Day.
That's...
So here's the thing. They say that the... Let's ask Google. When is the full moon in November?
November 8th, 2022. According to Farmer's Almanac, the next full moon will occur on Tuesday, November 8th, 2022.
So that tells me right there they're not... Well, for us, it'll be the full moon. That tells me that they're going to decide when you can evolve.
So from 12 to 13. Well, so they're saying that that
In-game,
weekend, in-game, a
that
full
weekend
moon
will have a full moon.
will have a full moon.
So they're not...
Earlier in the week, because the 8th is only a couple days before the 12th.
Right.
So to correlate with the Community Day, they will be forcing a quote-unquote full moon in-game so that
Correct.
you're able to evolve it. They will probably be able to... That basically says in later events, they will be able to force a full moon for you to be able to evolve Ursaring into Ursaluna.
Right.
Which
but
means
in
they
the-
might do that. They'll probably do that for the December Community Weekend.
Yes.
But
But then moving there after that,
it will be full moons.
event-based.
No, I think it will be based on the full moon cycles
In the real world
in
moon
the
cycles.
real world.
If they do that, I will applaud them, but I feel like this is going to be a gated content.
I think it's something that they will be able to force at certain times, but it will be locked to a full moon
Otherwise,
because we
I mean,
already
we
have.
also don't know how good Ursa Luna is going to be in PvP.
That's
so.
true.
It's not like you're missing anything.
The supposed moveset currently is actually return high horsepower,
yeah.
which you can't get on Community Day.
No.
Because you can't TM return back on in any circumstances.
And when you evolve on a Community Day, return replaces the Community Day move.
The Community Day move replaces return.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you have a purified Ursa ring and you go to evolve it during Community Day, don't. Because it will remove return and place high horsepower in its spot.
Well, darn.
And
my
you cannot put
purifies are going to have to worry about that.
Good for you that you have 3 hundo purifieds. First of all, good for you. Second of all,
I mean, one of the better normal types, let's be honest.
when are you using normal types?
Hey, look out. Wismer's got a Community Day coming.
Yeah, okay. not like before or after Wismer Community Day, you're going to be using that normal type. The only reason we're using Beware is because it's a fighting type too.
Yeah.
And it has ghost type moves.
I mean, that's how they make Ursa Luna better, is give it Shadow Claw.
Yeah, give it.
That's another thing, too. They haven't released any of its other moves.
Correct, but I think people have looked at what its availability,
yeah,
in Legends Arceus, because the move set within Legends Arceus is smaller than in all of the rest of the main series games. So, yeah, it's kind of gross.
It'll be an interesting mechanic moving forward, seeing how they do that.
Yes, yeah, I think it's going to be locked to full moons, and then
which is what it is in Arceus. If you want to evolve it, you have to wait till a full moon in game.
Gross. Cool, but gross.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not having not played Legends Arceus, I have no context to how cool this Pokemon is. It's a new Pokemon. I'm curious to see other people like me that have not played the Legends Arceus games.
How far have you gotten in Legend Ultra Sun and Moon?
Have
you got to ride Pokemon yet?
Yes. Yeah, I have done the Mantine ride.
Okay, what else?
I got to the new island. I have not.
Tauros?
Huh?
You got Tauros?
I did get Tauros.
Did you get the second one?
What's the second one?
Stoutland.
I have not gotten Stoutland yet.
Okay, same thing.
What do you mean?
Same exact thing. The Stoutland is going to do the same thing that Ursa Luna does in Hisuian.
Oh, I don't know.
When you find Stoutland, you'll understand. You'll be like, oh.
Okay. What is it? Cut?
What does a dog do?
Bark. Oh, it smells things?
It's an item finder.
Oh, interesting. I don't... Okay.
You use it for 5 minutes to do the quest, and then you never use it again.
Oh, okay. So then even people that have played Legends Arceus are just not, they're like, oh, cool, this Pokemon's in the game now. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so then...
it's useful for 5 minutes.
Our expectations are real low. Niantic, impress us. Fun fact, they probably won't. Spoiler alert, it's still a normal type. And ground types are only good against kicking the...
Buzz of steels and fire.
Steels, fires, and poisons.
Which is what in Master League?
Nothing.
Dialga. That's cute.
Yeah. Yeah, you better give Ursa some big firepower for it to move any needle. Also, I don't know how hard it's going to be to try and find a Great League one. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
10 CP. This is too high.
Yeah.
It's a power-weighted Pokemon, so.
Yeah, I'm curious to see. Oh, we just got to wait, unfortunately, because I don't know what its stats distribute out to.
It's stamina and attack.
That could be really good for it.
It's...
If it gets Mudshot.
Yeah, if it gets Mudshot. Oh.
If it gets Mudshot,
watch out.
Yeah, high horsepower might, even if a high horsepower is a little bit lackluster, it might still be pretty relevant. So, yes. Oh, stickers, by the way.
2 community days in November.
2 community days in November. Hold on to your butts. Okay. I'm gonna push a button.
Welcome to the meta-analysis.
All right. We're jumping into a quick little breakdown thingies of Halloween Cup, both for Great League and for Ultra League this time around. We are doing 1 week of Great League Halloween Cup and 1 week of Ultra League Halloween Cup. Guess how excited I am to play this. I'm not excited to play this.
Not excited was the correct answer for 200.
Yeah. Halloween Cup Great League, Toxapex leads. Number 1, Golbat, Nidoqueen Shadow, Frostlass, Wheezing Galarian, Mandibuzz, Azumarill, Beedrill, and Wormadam Trash round out your top 10. AKA Poisons get to be featured a whole heck of a lot. Frostlass is up here because there's a lot of poison with weakness to ice. Golbat and Nidoqueen both having not loving that ice. Also Mandibuzz with flying. Doesn't like that ice.
I think ghosts also resist poison for some extent.
I won't disagree with you.
Drop down
Though I can't
Frostlass, I
confirm.
think it'll tell you.
Oh, you're right. Why don't... Yes. Yep, resistance. Times 0.625.
So Frostlass a good option to beat Queen and Golbat, like you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Resisting the poison damage. I think the only thing that it fears is getting hit with dark type moves.
Yes. So Halloween Cup for both Ultra and Great League. Poison, Bug, Ghost, Dark, and Fairy type Pokemon. So Poison types, I think for sure, are definitely going to be up there as far as overall performance. With their move adjustments from what, 2, 3
It's been
seasons?
more than 4 months. Yeah, 2 seasons roughly.
2-ish seasons, because it
Poison
wasn't last
Fang
season.
being the biggest influencer.
Poison Jab.
Yep.
Certainly helping. So Toxapex having Poison Jab, which got adjusted. Golbat having Poison Fang, and Nidoqueen having both Poison Jab and Poison Fang. Galarian Wheezing up here with Fairy Wind, Overheat, Sludge. I mean, Wheezing with Tackle was not going to rank anywhere near that previously. But now that it has Fairy Wind, even with, it's like honestly suboptimal second charge moves.
It's mostly just overheat nuking everything.
Self-debuff nuke. And then Sludge is a slant.
That's a
spam
one
bait.
shot on most of the ice types like Frostlass.
Mm-hmm.
It's a one shot on your Bug Steel. What's it called? Wormadam.
Yes. That is a interesting play.
It's literally a bombshell.
Yeah,
You drop it and swap it.
It's too bad that neither of the names of its charge moves are self-destruct. Because it's pretty accurate. Yeah, I honestly see that maybe being a good anchor.
Anchor or a lead swap.
Yeah, but then you gotta.
Then you swap in something with Poison Fang and hope you win.
Yeah, I guess then you're doubling up on poison, and hopefully you don't see like a trash Wormadam with confusion to just absolutely annihilate all those poisons.
That's why you run
of
Drapion.
I kind of like this meta, but it is very poison heavy. And I don't have a ton of these like
what are
prepped.
the next 10?
Skunk Tank Shadow, Golbat Shadow, Alolan Marowak Shadow,
So there's your fire.
Quillfish Hisuian, because of course, Poison Jab, Aqua Tail, Shadow Ball. Fortress, Grimer Alolan XL, because who cares about Muck? Seriously.
How? I think it's mostly just because it has bulk as a poison type.
Poison Jab, Crunch, and Sludge Bomb. Overquill at 17. Runerigus at 18.
Here's one of your answers to your poisons.
Yeah.
Because it's 4 times resistance.
Shadow Claw, Sand Tomb, Shadow Ball.
Because it's got the ground moves to hit back against the poisons, plus it's ghost resisting the poison.
Yes. Skunk Tank and Mawile Shadow at 20.
What's it recommending on Mawile for fast move?
Fairy Wind, Ironhead, Play Rough.
Okay, so you're just running it hard hit.
Fast Charge. Yeah. It's not recommending Fire Fang, Ice Fang, or Bite. I would say Fire Fang is an interesting counter to
Things like Frostlass.
things like Frostlass and your steals.
And as long
Your
as
bug
it's not
steals.
hitting the water poison. Yeah. And Azumarill's up there too, but I think with
Mhm.
all this poison, I'd be really pressed to see if you see an Azumarill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be an interesting pick.
Be like, run Azumarill in the back with 2 things that just say no to poison.
Yeah, and Bubble, Ice Beam, Play Rough. I don't know, is Play Rough really... I mean, yeah, Key Winds, Obstagoon, Mandibuzz, and Umbreon. All 3 above 700 ranking. And I imagine that's with Play Rough just annihilating.
You could drop Ice Beam, I think, and still
On
run it.
Mandibuzz for sure, but I don't think Umbreon and Obstagoon
You
really...
need the Play Rough for both those.
Yeah, I don't think they really care.
Or you could
so
ballsy and do Hydro Pump, but
yeah, Hydro Pump or yeah, that's the only move. I was thinking it had another move. I don't know. I was thinking it had Bubble Beam. Thank goodness it doesn't have Bubble Beam.
I just draw a lot fights out so much longer.
So it already resists. It resists Bug. It resists Dark. It resists Ice. It takes Super Effector from Poison, and I don't think we see any Electric. So realistically, it's quite bulky in this meta.
As long as you don't see a poison.
As long as you don't see a poison. And even then, it still has bulk to outlast with pretty reasonable neutral moves. So it's not a bad staple if you don't really know what else to run. So
Yeah.
Just throw a confusion user if you can in there.
Go full bulk. Go Mandibuzz, Azumarill,
Trash
Wormadam.
Yeah. Oh, stall team. You actually probably can't because there's still hard counters, but it's still kind of gross.
That's the XL team right there.
Yeah, I don't mind that. This is going to be an interesting one. This might be something I power up a couple of things.
Because a lot of those poisons, too, aren't, outside of Toxapex, aren't really bulky.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Beedrill. Oh.
And there's options within the Alolan Pokedex. Toxapex is one that I haven't evolved a Marini yet, so Toxapex, this might be the time where I try it out. Golbat's also an option within the Alolan Pokedex. The Nidoqueens are not. Mandibuzz is in the Alolan games. Alolan Marowak is one. And Alolan Grimer. Though I don't know if I have a good ranked one. I do know I have the XL Candy for it. I don't know if I have a good ranking Alolan Grimer
Good one
yet.
to invest in.
Yes. All right, Halloween Cup Ultra League. It's very similar instance where your poisons, I should say, are going to be highly featured, though your XL Candy is going to be much more. I don't know. You're gonna have to use it. We've got Nidoqueen and Nidoqueen Shadow at 1 and 2. Skunk Tank XL at 3. Your Ice type Genesect, so your Genesect Chill at 4. Tentacruel XL at 5. Galarian Weezing XL at 6. Skunk Tank Shadow XL at 7. Genesect Shock at number 8. Fortress XL at number 9. And Genesect Burn at number 10. The only instance in which you don't have to spend XL Candy within the top, let me see if the top 20. Oh my goodness, that's funny. Within the top 20, there are 3 Pokemon that are not legendaries that don't require XL Candy. Overquill, Crobat Shadow, and Crobat. Technically, that's 2. So the only other Pokemon that don't require XL Candy in the top 20 of this are legendaries. So Moltres Galarian at 16, which is hilarious. That is absolutely ridiculous that it is ranking at the 16th level with Wing Attack, Brave Bird, Ancient Power. Tapu Fini at 15.
Man, I love Feeney.
Nihiligo at 12. Giratina Altered at 11. And then Genesect at 10, 8, and 4. Yeah, this is probably a week where I don't play. It seems interesting, but that's a lot of requirement. Alolan Muck at rank 21. Crustal XL at 20. Fortress Shadow at XL at 22. Alolan Ninetales XL at 23. Cantonian Muck at 24. Dragalge requires XL at 25. Drapion requires XL at 26. Caesar and Escavalier don't require XL at 28 and 29 respectively. Gengar doesn't require XL level 30 or at rank 30. Rank 31 is Configurious, which requires XL. This is just gross. Really?
A lot of XLs.
A lot of
limited
XLs.
options.
So this is one that I either skip or I run in suboptimal teams, which I'm already doing by running Alolan Pokemon or Pokemon found in the Alolan Pokedex. So
Right.
yeah,
And that's an investment.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gross. This might be a week where I play Sun, Ultra Sun, and you play GBL. So, 1 week of Halloween Cup and 1 week of Halloween Cup Ultra League Edition. Let me grab those dates here real quick, and then we will wrap up the podcast, or some people call it the pod. We have, interesting, 2 more days left of Great League, Ultra League, and Master League running in parallel. October 20th through the 27th, we'll have Great League and Halloween Cup. And October 27th through November 3rd, we'll have Great League and Halloween Cup Ultra League Edition. So we'll have Great League running for 2 weeks in a row. And then we will have Halloween Cup, Great League, and then 1 week of Halloween Cup Ultra League. I do appreciate that they are separating that out. I really think that maybe the base Halloween Cup should be something that we see for 2 weeks, because that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I don't see Ultra League being all that fun. So,
And they could have just done the devil's advocate and opened up both.
yeah, I've done them in parallel. Yeah. I think that does it for this episode of the Battle Science Podcast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Follow us at Battle_Science on Twitter. Post updates, infographics from other people's, funny memes, etc. You can join our Discord for free. No blockings. No barriers to
strings
entry. We'll say you join. We say hello with whatever the auto hello things the Discord does. Newest member Prometheus Brown. Discord said, "We hope you brought pizza." I also hope you brought pizza.
Speaking of pizza,
You have a bunch of leftover pizza.
I wasn't going to go there,
Oh,
but
okay.
Jamar did win our community question contest
Cheater.
with predicting the 4
It's kind of like
seasonal community days.
It's kind of like the Astros, who was banging on trash cans to tell Jamar what community days were going to happen when.
Jamar has won a pizza from yours truly. And we'll have to make a community day or some event where we go down there and I force feed him that pizza.
I thought the plan was to do the Portland pizza party.
Oh, yes.
Yes, we'll do the... I will have to reach out to Sizzlepi and figure out if there's an event space that we have to reserve or anything. And we will invite all peoples. So the Portland Regional in May of next year of 2023. We'll have I'll pick a day and we'll have a pizza party. So
We need to make some nerdy pie joke for Battle Science meetup.
3.14. Too bad it's in May, which is 5. The 5th month of the year.
We'll have pizza at 3:14.
In the afternoon, but then battles are probably happening then.
I have
3:14 in the morning. I think Sizzle Pie's open like super late, so like it might actually happen. Yes, we'll have a pizza party. Jamar, you are most certainly invited.
Oh no, he's sitting in the big kid seat.
We're getting him a party hat. He's getting the little.
We're getting him the equivalent of Sizzle Pie's Burger King crown. If it has to be a box that I fashioned into a crown, we'll make it happen.
We sing happy birthday to Jamar at the pizza party, even though I don't think it's going to be his birthday.
Don't tempt me.
we lie. We say it's his birthday.
Watch him give a cup. What would the cupcake? Never mind.
For Oregon? No, we just get a donut from Voodoo.
Do they give him like a cake donut or a cake pizza? Dessert pizza?
I am not running on enough energy for this.
Speculative.
We'll figure that out at a later time. Date and time to be announced, but we're gonna do a pizza party there in Portland.
You're getting my pizza, Jamie.
Anyone and everyone that is listening to this is willing to join us. I'll figure out if we have to have like a. I'll figure out if we have to do a cap on people for an event space or whatever. I'll let people know in future podcasts. Discord's open to everybody. Tweet, email us at battlescience.podcast@gmail.com. Oh my goodness, I forgot that we had an email.
We got an email?
We got an email from shoot.
I like emails
Give me a second.
when they're not junk.
Give me a second.
He's reaching.
Goodness gracious. I know I logged in a couple places, but Pika Nerd. The predictions for the community days: Zubat, Rattata, Meowth, and Bellsprout.
Bellsprout would be good.
All Meowth, by the way. All Meowths at once.
I would love a community day like that. That's nice.
You want to know what the ending of this event made me think of? We had a Sandshrew with both forms in a community day. Why don't we get Rapidash? Why don't we get Ponyta? Yeah. Its shiny has already been released, unfortunately.
For both.
But why not give it a better move?
Oh, that's a fun fact too. Hisui, Legends Arceus, you do quests and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One of the quests is a guaranteed shiny Ponyta.
Interesting.
Sorry, spoiler for those who haven't played it, but
it's kind of like the shiny Gyarados in Gold and Silver. Interesting. Yeah. Gold, Silver, Crystal. Yeah, I'd love to see honestly, that would just be a fun community day because it's like no pressure.
Yeah.
Do a Ponyta community day with both.
I mean, PvEers will be like, it's Ponyta.
Give them both high horsepower. Yeah, it'd be dumb.
Mean, Rapidash with Drill Run's still better.
Sure. Give them both Drill Run. If they don't already have it. I don't know. Discord thing. Podcast services around the globe for the Battle Science podcast. You can join the Patreon, patreon.com/battlescience, to get access to the Battle Science After Dark podcast, the monthly Patreon exclusive podcast, and the Battle Science podcast early in audio format. YouTube.com/battlescience for the video on demand of the Battle Science podcast on its standard release date of Fridays every 2 weeks. And the video on demand of the Twitch streams. If you want to catch content live, twitch.tv/battlescience. I am contemplating switching over to YouTube just because Twitch has been making some very not great decisions recently. But the problem is the audience would then have to switch over. So I doubt we'll make any change, but the thought is there. But twitch.tv/battlescience, you can catch the live pod recording every other Tuesday, and the additional streams filled in. Yes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you in 2 weeks for stuffs and things and stuff. And maybe on the Battle Science After Dark podcast, we'll talk about our experiences going to the Halo Championship World Series. No, Halo Championship Series Worlds event in Seattle this weekend. And if anybody's listening to the podcast and is going to that event, come say hi. We'll be hanging out. I'll post pictures, probably, maybe. I don't know.
And next podcast will be day after Halloween. So grab some of your candy. Come hang out.
Brush your teeth. Don't get cavities. And we'll see you out there on the battlefield.
Bye.
Hopefully without cavities.